Taulia, welcome in. Penn State defensively, one of the top teams in the country. They've taken some lumps here and there, but what is it that they do defensively that will have you on your P's and Q's this week?
Yes, sir. I mean, Penn State's that's what they're pretty much known for, their defense. And they got a lot of good players, and I think they're very well coached. They do a lot of disguising, kind of like what we've seen this past week. But I think the offense that, we're running with, picking up tempo and stuff like that, moving quick, I think we can use that to our advantage. And but, I mean, they have a really good front seven, and their DBs are good as well. And so, they played together for a long time. And, just the talent across the board is good. And, yeah, it's going to be a great challenge for us this week.
Taulia, you've been with a team, obviously, that made the postseason before, but a lot of guys on this team haven't. What would it mean to get win number 6 this weekend and take this program to a bowl game?
I think that's kind of the big picture. All in all, that would be good. Postseason is always good. And but, looking at our schedule, it's not going to be easy, obviously, playing in the Big Ten. And but, it's going to mean a lot. But I think the only way for us to get there is just to focus one game at a time, one practice at a time, 1 week at a time. We can't get too ahead of ourselves. And, we have a great challenge with Penn State this week. We have them at home. So, it's going to be very special to go. It's always special to beat, such a big team like Penn State. So, it starts with practice, and just got to continue to work.
You had a heck of a week last week, 400 yards, and you were on the money with every pass, especially the sidelines. Working with Carlos Carrier and Marcus Fleming are guys who haven't had the time. Going into that game, were you confident that this was going to work out as well as it did?
Yes, sir. I mean, Marcus, Carlos, guys like Darryl Jones, Cobbs, Rock, all our receivers, like I said, I feel like we put in the work throughout the off season, throwing on our own and just working on timing. And I think all those times are, the more we do it after practice, during camp, and, it just adds up. And eventually, their hard work is going to pay off. And, someone like Carlos and Marcus, I think everyone's just seeing the hard work that they've been putting in. And regardless of who's on the field, I have confidence in everyone on the offense, whether it's an O-lineman getting subbed out or a receiver, running back, tight end coming in. And I think it's just the relationship we built throughout the offseason and the relationship that we're continuing to build as we continue to play together.
Hey, Taulia, kind of speaking to Marcus in particular, what growth have you seen from him this year that's kind of allowed him to, step into the bigger role he's had the last few weeks? And then kind of just what's your rapport like been with him as he's, now a starter?
Yeah, Marcus Fleming, he's, I think the biggest growth that I've seen in him is probably his maturity. When he first came in, he's a very talented player. He's undersized, but, has a lot of, he's quick, he's fast, and just him, getting to learn the offense and, doing the right things on and off the field. I think that's the biggest growth, and, it's so good to see it come to fruition. Now he's starting. He has the opportunity to, build his brand and make a name for himself and show people what he can do. And I think someone's dad's calling. Sorry, but yeah, like Marcus, he's a great player. I think that's the biggest thing I've seen in him is his growth, and for him, the sky's the limit. He continues to work hard, regardless of what he did, and the previous weeks and stuff like that. So, just excited to see him, and as well as our other young receivers.
Coming out of the Indiana game, if you had the big game, but you also had a couple of false starts. What is something that you can do to help are you seeing, is it something your offensive line isn't seeing that you can help them with, or communication between them? How can you improve in that area?
That's self-inflicted wounds, penalties. We can't, beat ourselves, especially against good teams in the Big Ten. And, calling plays and trying to execute it as hard as it is. And, things like that, that's my responsibility to take ownership for things like that. And, it's just, our offense, we try to move fast now, and sometimes the defense isn't set, and sometimes the O-lineman needs to make the calls. And I think for me it's better to, slow down a little bit and have the O-line make their calls so that we can execute the play the way we want it, instead of just, trying to move too fast and, when something wrong could happen. So.
To the Maryland fan base, this is the rivalry game. Does it feel any different to you guys, and are you aware of that?
I was kind of aware of it last year, the Penn State and Maryland rivalry. But, I think that's, something out of our control. It's something that's been here before we got here. So the biggest thing is, we know they're a good team. They're coming into our place to play us. And whether it's a rivalry or not, at the end of the day, we got to win football games. And I think, we try to preach to our team not to look at it like that. And, just our opponent is nameless and faceless. And the only way, we can lose is if we beat ourselves. So I think the biggest thing is just focusing on us and getting better every day. Thank you.